In the final months of World War II, a flamboyant American general known for his ruthless aggression did something completely unexpected. He showed mercy to a defeated enemy commander. The fall of 1944. In a pocket of western France, a German officer, General WW2 Elster, stared at a map that showed only disaster. His command, some 20,000 men, was trapped. American armored spearheads had sliced behind them. Their supplies were gone, and their only remaining choice was how they would meet their end. Elster weighed three terrible paths. He could order a suicidal breakout attempt against Patton's tanks. He could disband his troops into the countryside, inviting a brutal guerrilla war. Or he could do the unthinkable for a German officer under Hitler: surrender. The Nazi regime considered capitulation treason, punishable by death, for the officer and retaliation against his family. But Elster saw his duty not to a fanatical ideology, but to the lives of the soldiers under his command. Continuing the fight served no strategic purpose. It would only mean a grave for his men and more casualties for the Americans. So he sent a message through the lines, but it came with a condition. The request landed on the desk of General George S. Patton, the brilliant and tempestuous commander of the U.S. Third Army. Patton's reputation was built on relentless offensive action. His men called him Old Blood and Guts. To his staff, the proposal seemed simple: demand unconditional surrender or crush the isolated force. But Patton saw a deeper chess move on the battlefield. What if how you treated a surrendering enemy could decide whether the next 10 enemies would ever surrender at all? Patton authorized the capitulation. He gave strict orders. The process was to be conducted with full military formality and in strict adherence to the Geneva Conventions. No humiliation, no abuse, just the correct professional treatment owed to prisoners of war. This wasn't about kindness. It was a calculated strategy where respect proved deadlier than scorn. For Patton, the goal was never just to win a battle, but to win the war with the fewest American lives lost, and every enemy who laid down his arms was one less who had to be killed. On September 16, 1944, near the banks of the Loire River, a surreal column marched into American custody. Nearly 20,000 German troops maintaining discipline, with General Elster at their head. American officers accepted the formal surrender. Weapons were collected. The prisoners were processed, fed, and tended to. The fear of execution or revenge that many Germans carried was replaced by the orderly, if bleak, reality of captivity. Word of this event began to ripple through the fragmented German forces all across France. The strategic impact was immediate and profound. Other encircled German units, hearing that Americans honored the laws of war, began seeking out U.S. forces to surrender to. Commanders mentioned Elster's example in their negotiations. This cascade of surrenders saved untold numbers of lives on both sides and accelerated the Allied advance. Patton's decision had created a powerful incentive for the enemy to choose reason over fanaticism. But what about General Elster? After the war, he returned to a Germany where his actions were put on trial, the charge surrendering his command. The post-war court, however, recognized the impossibility of his position and pardoned him. He had chosen life over a futile death. His story largely faded from history, but the principle it demonstrated did not. This episode reveals a layer of George Patton that contradicts his popular caricature. Behind the fiery speeches and relentless drive was a sophisticated military intellect. He understood that warfare is governed by a complex psychology. True strength sometimes lies not in crushing an enemy, but in giving him a door to exit the fight. His adherence to the rules of war wasn't a weakness, it was a weapon. It broke the enemy's will to resist far more efficiently than bullets alone ever could. So was Patton's handling of the Elster surrender an act of strategic brilliance or merely following basic protocol? In the context of total war, where atrocities were commonplace, choosing to follow the rules was itself a profound and effective decision. It shortened the conflict and saved countless families from loss. That is the legacy of a commander who could be both a hammer and a strategist. If you found this hidden side of history compelling, please like this video. It helps the Story Archive bring you more forgotten chapters like this one. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications.